Okay, so we are now live on PEG, live on Granicus, live on Facebook, and now live on YouTube.
Thank you, Sam.
Good morning. Are we called to order yet?
No.
Okay. Do we?
So I think, so what I think happens is I think the vice chair, which would be Commissioner Hess, begins everything because the chair is no longer. I think. Nicole.
Does everything sound muffled to you guys, or is it just me today?
It sounds a little muffled.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I don't think it was just a mask thing. Anyway, you were saying something about me, I think, Trish.
Yeah, so I believe that because you're the vice chair, you have to call everything to order, and then there is an extra item for you guys to pick a chair and a vice chair.
Sure. And do we take up that extra item before action on the minutes?
It's
First, we have to.
After the action on minutes.
Okay. Well, then, if we're all ready to go, I will call to order the first 2021 meeting of the Lake County Planning Commission, January 14. And the first order of business is action on the minutes from our December 10, 2020 meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the December 10th meeting.
A second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay.
I'll do a roll call. Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown is absent, Commissioner Price,
Yes.
and Commissioner Williams.
Yes.
Motion so carried.
Welcome, Lance.
Welcome, Lance.
Thank you.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, it would be Commissioner Brown who would be the new chair.
Commissioner Hess, may I?
Of course.
That is regarding the extra item. We have a memo prepared, and I can go through it, but basically we have to have elections for the chair and the vice chair, and this is our first meeting of the year, our annual meeting for our bylaws. So if you are ready to take up the extra item, I can go through that process and explain it to you.
Sure, let's do that. Thanks.
All right, and for the record, my name is Tokar Nicole Thomas. I'm the Deputy Director of Community Development. This is the Advisory Commission that a matter came to my attention since the posting of the current agenda, which requires immediate Planning Commission discussion and or consideration. And I'll go through the following facts. On Monday, January 11, 2021, I became aware that the Planning Commission January 14, 2021 agenda had been posted without an item addressing the election of the chair and vice chair. Consequently, I wish to place an item on the January 14, 2021 agenda, which is today, as an extra item for the election in chair and vice chair. The basis for this request is that the Planning Commission bylaws, Article 3, Section 1, require the election of officers to be held during the first annual meeting of the Lake County Planning Commission, which will be today, January 14, 2021. On Monday, January 11th, I learned that the election of the chair and vice chair had been inadvertently omitted as an agenda item for the first annual meeting of the commission. The agenda was already posted by the time that I became aware of this omission. Since the bylaws of the Lake County Planning Commission require an election during the first annual meeting, it is necessary to take this matter up as quickly as possible I ask the commission to find that immediate action needs to be taken to hold an election as required by the commission's bylaws, and to add the item election of officers, chair and vice chair, to the agenda as an extra agenda item. So the sample motions, this will be taken up in two parts, and there are two sample motions in the memo that is posted under this section of extra items. Sample motion A, the chair of the planning commission finds that immediate action needs to be taken to hold an election as required by the commission's bylaws, and to add the item election of officers, chair and vice chair, to the agenda as an extra. And then the sample motion B, election of officers, chair and vice chair. So essentially, you will have to take this extra item up in two motions. The first motion would be to approve the addition of the extra item. Once that addition is approved, the next motion would be to hold your elections for the chair and vice chair for the Planning Commission of Lake County.
Thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
I'm prepared to entertain a motion.
Go for it.
To approve the extra item.
I'll second. Let's go ahead and do that.
Would one of you make a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the addition of the election onto today's agenda.
If I
Extra
may?
item. Takara?
This is Nicole.
Oh, Nicole, hi.
Hello. Happy New Year.
Same to you.
This is an item, or at least a consideration. Would you need to, I think you would need to open for comment if there's any objections or comments from the public, and then entertain the motion?
Oh, thank you for that. Sure. Is there anybody on Zoom or on the phone that would like to make a comment on this additional item?
All right, I have sent a unmute request out to the Zoom room floor. If you would like to make a comment, please unmute and state your first and last name.
Okay, hearing nothing, we'll return to the motion made by Commissioner Price. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, I'll take roll call. Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown is absent, Commissioner Price,
Yes.
and Commissioner Williams.
Yes.
Motion so carried.
All right, thank you for that, and I would recommend that the second motion be taken up, please, if that pleases the commission.
Thank you, Takara. I'll go ahead and make a motion that we hold an election for the chair and vice chair on today's meeting right now.
I second that motion.
Okay, Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown is absent, Commissioner Price,
Yes.
and Commissioner Williams.
Yes.
Motion so carried.
Now, I believe, correct me, Takara, please, if I'm wrong. I think it's Commissioner Brown's time to be in the chair, just in terms of the chronology of things.
I believe that is the case if we wanted to follow that process, but he's not here today, so I don't know if we could hold that election without him per Robert's Rules of Order.
If I may, this is Nicole
Please.
again. The bylaws for the commission simply require that an election for chair and vice chair be held. There's nothing within the bylaws that require that a particular order be followed. If those present choose to elect, to nominate and elect an individual who is here today, then that would be valid.
Thank you, Nicole.
My preference would be to give everybody a turn in the chair. And it seems like Commissioner Brown, just in terms of longevity, would be next in line. And then Commissioner Price would be vice chair.
I'm
Or that
fine
is,
with
that's the motion. That's the motion I would like to make.
And as long as everyone else is okay with that, I can go ahead and second that.
That's how we've traditionally done it. Well, in that case,
I will
I
second
move
that
that,
motion as well.
or well, I guess I'm still chairing this at the moment. So is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to go ahead and have Commissioner Brown be the chairperson and I will be vice chair.
A
Is
second?
there a second?
Okay, so Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown is absent, Commissioner Price,
Yep.
Commissioner Williams.
Yes.
Motion so carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Christina.
Yes, congratulations.
Congrats.
So,
As
Thank you
vice
for
chair, with our chairman absent, the floor is yours, Commissioner Price.
Awesome. Good morning, everyone. Since it's 9:10, we will go ahead and address item number 1. Let's go. Item number 1 is a public hearing on consideration of a major use permit, UP 19-08, and negative declaration based on initial study IS 19-14. The project applicant, Golden State Herb / Crystal Keezy, is proposing that a 1 type A 3 medium outdoor license, 4 type A 2 small outdoor licenses, and 1 type A 13 self-distribution license. The project also proposes 2 120 square foot sheds for use as chemical and data storage for the security system. The 2 cultivation areas will be enclosed in a 6-foot tall metal fence that will be screened. The total proposed cultivation area will be about 2 acres in size based on the materials submitted to the county. The project is located at 8550 Highway 175, Kelseyville, further described as APN 011-055-06. Eric, if you would like to go ahead with your report.
Sure. Good morning, commissioners and members of the audience. Thank you for attending. As Pro Tem Chair Price mentioned, this is for a A-type 3 and for 4 A-type 2 small outdoor cultivation areas. I won't go into the specifics in terms of what's going to be on the ground, other than to say that omitted were 2 storage containers being proposed and shown on the site plan prepared by the applicant. Property is zoned ag, scenic combining. Nothing in this proposal would conflict with the zoning. Outdoor cultivation is allowed subject to non-high value farmland. Location, property is located at 8550 Highway 175, Kelseyville. APN is 011-05506. Parcel is 52.9 acres in size. The rough cultivation area is 105,000 square feet, and the canopy is estimated, although not described, to be about 85,000 square feet. Taxes are based on cultivation area, so that's really the key number that we need to focus in on. Before I proceed, I want to mention that I received an email from the applicant on January 11th, and she had a couple of observations about the staff report, and I want to read those into the record. Under project description, she indicates that it should read 43,560 square feet of canopy and 87,120 square feet of cultivation area. That is not what I calculated. I calculated 105,000 square feet of cultivation area. She then proceeds down further in the email, indicating that I had typed that it was 105,000 square feet of cultivation area, and she said it should read roughly 4 acres in size. All I have to go by is what I've received, and from what I can tell, the total cultivation area is 105,000 square feet. So if she is contradictory evidence, I need for her to indicate that so we can clarify exactly how many square feet are taxable. So getting back to the proposal, we have to make 6 findings on a major use permit. We have to make a finding that I can find the findings, here we go. That the project will not be detrimental to the health, safety, and welfare of the community or a surrounding neighborhood. That the project is adequate in size, shape, location, and physical characteristics to accommodate the type of use proposed. Streets, highways, and pedestrian facilities are reasonably adequate for the project. That there are no public or private, that there are public and private services available. That the project is in conformance with the applicable provisions of the zoning ordinance, the general plan, and the Kelseyville area plan. And finally, that no violations of chapters 5, 17, 21, 23, or 26 of the Lake County Code presently exist. So we were able to make all 6 of those findings. I can elaborate if necessary. We did do an initial study on the project. We found that impacts are potential for air quality, biological resources, and that's it. And that those impacts can be mitigated through the conditions of approval that are proposed for this project. The initial recommendation is for approval with conditions. And we had a wrinkle come up, unfortunately, this week, and I'll let Takara elaborate on it if she's willing to. But the board on December 15th adopted a 1,000-foot setback. We became aware of this, the specifics of it this week. And the 1,000 feet applies to the proximity to established agricultural uses. The neighboring properties to the west and to the south have established agricultural uses on them. The cultivation areas measure out to be between 700 and 800 feet from the established agricultural areas. So we have a conflict. The newly adopted regs actually do take effect as of today. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Takara to address that specific issue.
Thank you, Eric, for that overview of the project and for laying out the new ordinance and the new rules that apply to this project. Unfortunately, the ordinance goes into effect today, and the 1,000 feet setback would severely impact the potential cultivation area for this project. What staff would like to prepare or provide to the Planning Commission for your consideration is that we continue this item as there is some, the board has discussed some language of providing grandfather clauses into that ordinance. And what that means is the discussion has been around if a permit has been in the process for some time, as this one in this case has been, and the ordinance would impact the permit, it will be essentially quote unquote grandfathered in, and the setbacks will not apply. That grandfather language has not been included in the ordinance, and it will need to go back before the Board of Supervisors and the Planning Commission at a future date. So what staff would like to do is to continue this item until that grandfather language has been included in the ordinance. If that grandfather language is included in the ordinance, this permit would not be affected by the 1,000 feet setback, but we would need to see what happens at the board level with the ordinance and with that language being included.
Okay, thank you, Takara. So I don't want to get too far into that, into the changing that has happened. Is there a statute of limitations as far as how far back you're going to go for this grandfathering in?
I think that is a conversation that we can bring up at the board level. It's been very high level, just basically saying that we want to make sure that that language is included in the ordinance. And there were discussions during the preparation of the ordinance, but somehow that language just simply didn't get memorialized.
Okay, thank you, Takara.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I just have one request if possible, Eric. When we return to this item, is it possible to come to some kind of agreement about the total square footage, 105 versus another number, just so that ambiguity is cleared up when we return to this item?
Absolutely. I'll clarify that today, Commissioner.
Thank you very much.
And I do believe we have the applicant via Zoom as well. So once I open this up for public comment, we can discuss further. Eric, does that conclude your report?
Unless there's any questions, yes.
Commissioners, do you guys have any questions before we open this up to public comment?
No questions.
No.
Okay. Jake, if we can go ahead and open this up for public comment. I also want to disclose that I did do a site visit yesterday. I went and met the applicant and walked the property. And I just wanted everybody to know that I did go and see it. And we'll go ahead and open it up for public comment.
All right. I did have a hand up earlier from Crystal Kesey, so I wanted to check in with them first. Crystal, looks like you are unmuted, so if I could get a sound check.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And please confirm your first and last name.
My name is Crystal Kesey.
Thank you.
Okay, and then I see the host is asking me to start my video, so I will do that.
Yeah, I think I turned it off earlier, so I wanted to make sure you had the option.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. So first of all, thank you very much for the opportunity to present this application. It's been in the works for over 2 years, and I hope that the quality of the application speaks for itself. I'm really just here to answer any questions that you all may have. Just a brief statement, our highest priority, our priorities as an applicant are, number one, being good neighbors in our community and good corporate citizens in Lake County. Number two, developing a secure and world-class cannabis cultivation facility that integrates into the character of our rural environs while providing jobs and taxes for the local economy. Number three, we want to practice excellent land stewardship because we're grateful for the place that we've landed. And number four, we want to contribute to the community outside of our operations through charitable work such as community-sponsored agriculture and natural resource preservation. And then, let's see. This is a woman-owned family business. This is my partner, Andy Greer, and this is my son. We are really excited about the opportunity to operate in Lake County. As a woman, owning a business in general is difficult, and the COVID climate is even more challenging, and add cannabis into it, and it makes it even extra especially difficult. So I really am grateful for the opportunity to present this application to you. I, in particular, would like to thank the Lake County staff and Eric Porter in particular for the wonderful communication and navigation through the planning process. It's been 2 years, and every time I've had a question and every time I've needed information, Eric's been right there for us to help us figure this out. So thank you, Eric. And I think the one question was the clarification of the cultivation area, which determines the tax base for the project. We're proposing canopy area, which is the state licensing of 1 medium outdoor, which is 43,560 square feet of canopy. And then we're proposing 4 10,000 square foot state licenses, which is the equivalent of a medium outdoor, because we're only allowed to have one 1 acre license according to the state regulations. So 2 acres total of canopy area. However, anyone in the industry knows that the pest management on foot for 2 acres of canopy is quite a task. And if we can employ regular agricultural practices with adequate spacing, then we can efficiently and actually protect our workers and reduce the time of that labor by using farm equipment. So basically what we're asking for is, instead of a sort of 1.5 multiplier of cultivation of canopy area, we're asking for a 2x scale of cultivation of canopy area. So 43,560 times 2, so it's about 87,000 square feet of canopy. And we'd like to double the cultivation area so we can run those farm implements in between the rows. And if the site plan doesn't accurately reflect that, which I thought we did, but anyway, we'd be happy to amend the site plan to fix that discrepancy or that confusion on the square footage of the cultivation area.
Excellent. Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you.
Is there any other public comment?
All right, so I am going to send a unmute request to the Zoom room floor. That request is out. If you would like to unmute, please do so. And
Madam Chair?
last name.
Yes.
Just a process question for Nicole. If we are continuing this item, should we be discussing it further today, Nicole?
You may have discussions today. And my understanding is there was not a vote on continuance, so that decision actually has not been made yet by your commission. Once that decision is made, no, there should not be continued discussion. If you do continue this item to another date, you will have to remember, now that public comment has been opened, you'll have to remember to open public comment again.
Thank you, Nicole. So are we making are we going to make that amendment to this currently now, or are we going to put it and reschedule it after we clarify?
Well, has public comment stopped at this point in time? Because I would like to make a motion to continue, because as I'm following this, I believe that this one would have to fall under the new rules, and that that they would like to see if we can grandfather them in. So I'd like to do that motion to continue at this point in time, but I don't know if public comment has already closed.
I believe public comment is still open. Nicole, if I may, can we continue to get the public's input, and then we can follow up with Commissioner Williams's motion to continue?
Well, there is a motion on the floor, so either the motion would be withdrawn, or had public comment been closed before the motion?
It's still open.
So, but there is a motion on the floor, and the motion would have to either be withdrawn or considered.
Well, I would second that motion.
Okay. There has been a motion to go ahead and continue this agenda item, and it's been seconded. Are we doing a roll call?
This is Eric Porter. Do we need to have a date certain that this is continued to?
Yes.
You don't have to. This is Nicole again. You don't have to have a date. You can have, and I'll have to pull up the language on what a motion into a non-date certain would look like. But if you'll give me a second, but we do not have a date certain for this item, is my understanding.
That's correct. If I may, I would recommend that staff will recommend to not do it for a date certain, just because we have to wait until the ordinance with the updated language is. So I would recommend, if it's possible, to do it without a date certain.
Okay,
Okay.
roll call. Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown is absent, Commissioner Price,
Yes.
and Commissioner Williams.
Yes.
Motion so carried.
Nicole, if I may.
Of course.
Now that that motion has been carried, in public comment is still open, so I could still run that, right?
Well, no, the item has continued.
Okay,
So public comment would continue in the next, when this item next appears. And because it is an open-ended continuation, staff will have to remember to renotice this item when it returns.
Okay, and then I can just close this item and move on to item number 2. Nicole?
Sorry, I don't know what happened. I sound there.
That's a yes, I
Thank
think.
you. I appreciate your patience, you guys. Okay, thank you so much. And thank you to the applicant, and we will get back to that after the ordinance is revisited. Item number 2 on the agenda is a public hearing on consideration of a mitigated negative declaration based on initial study IS 19-45 for parcel map 19-03. The applicant, William Clark, is proposing 2 parcel land divisions. The 1.617 acre property would be divided into 2 parcels. Parcel A would be 10.17 acres. Parcel B would be 6 acres in gross area. The property currently contains 2 single-family dwellings, several small sheds, a well for potable water, and 2 internal driveways. The project is located at 8845 Red Hills Road, further described as AP 011-015-16. Do we have a staff report on that?
We do. Thank you, Pro Tem Chair. I'm trying to get my papers together here. Bear with me for a moment. Okay. Yeah, the property is located at 8845 Red Hills Road, APN 011-015-16. Zoning is rural residential, which allows lots as small as 5 acres. The parent parcel is 16 acres and change. And so they want to create 2 parcels that are roughly 7.5 acres each, as shown on attachment 2 within your packet, which is the proposed parcel map. There is some question about one of the conditions that are being proposed. It's condition number F2, which has to do with the 50-foot right-of-way dedication. And I'm going to let Scott address that condition because I think it needs to be modified, but I'm not quite sure of the verbiage that's needed on it. Scott, are you here?
Yes, just 1 second.
Sure.
I'm trying to get all the buttons unclicked here. Sorry about that. There we go.
Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, everyone.
Good
Happy
morning,
New
Scott.
Year, and I apologize. I'm trying to get everything together here. Yes. So to give you just a very brief background, and I'm going to mention this because it'll end up in the minutes. The existing residence on proposed parcel B currently obtains access to Red Hills Road through a recorded easement. It's shown on the tentative map as book 815 of official records at page 446 is an easement that provides, again, the access to the home that's on proposed parcel B. That easement does not meet the minimum county requirement for width for off-track dedicated access easements. Therefore, parcel B was designed as a flag lot in order to provide the access to Red Hills Road. Our county surveyors a little concerned to make sure that any future buyer or owner of parcel B understands that should anything ever happen with that easement, and you know that easement's been in place for many years, perhaps decades, and but just to prepare for the future and make sure that everybody understands that if anything were ever to happen with that easement and a driveway was required to serve the home on parcel B across that flag lot, that they would need to construct that driveway in accordance with certain standards. So what we're proposing is the elimination of, or actually the replacement of condition, and I'm going to turn to it, and again, I apologize, the replacement of condition F2, as it's shown in the staff report, we're going to replace that with a note shall be placed on the final map stating that any driveway construction within the flag portion of parcel B shall require a County of Lake encroachment permit and adhere to CAL FIRE construction standards for a residential driveway. We feel that that will sufficiently alert any potential owner of parcel B that should anything happen in the future, that they'll need to build a driveway across that flag lot in accordance with certain standards. And again, apologize for this last minute little modification, but we feel that that's the appropriate way to handle that off-track dedication.
Thank you, Scott.
Scott, is that something that the applicant has agreed to as well, this revised condition?
We've spoken with the consultant with Concert Land Surveying about this, and they are in agreement.
Thanks.
Yep. And while I have the floor, one other just very minor housekeeping item, condition A1, where it refers to the tentative parcel map. I would like to add just a little verbiage there that says received on February 20th, 2020. There was an updated tentative parcel map that was received, and I just want to make sure that when we make a reference to the tentative parcel map, it's the one that was received on February 20th, 2020, just to be clear.
Thank you.
Madam Chairman, if I can continue, I didn't get into the approval criteria. I just want to elaborate a little bit more for the record.
Please.
Thank you. First of all, initial study 19-45 was prepared. It was sent to the state clearinghouse. That is not a mitigated negative declaration from my recollection. That is a simple negative declaration, meaning there were no impacts associated with this project. No development is being proposed, and so no mitigation measures were determined to be necessary for this project. There are conditions of approval that require certain things, and as Scott DeLeon mentioned, condition A1 would need to be modified, and condition F2 would need to be modified per the wording that he read into the record. In accordance with Chapter 17 of our county code, this land division meets all the criteria for a land division. And so we found that there was nothing in this proposal that conflicts with any of the applicable articles. And that would apply to the rural residential zone, Chapter 17 of the county code, and the other peripheral sections that would apply. Again, no development's being proposed. So it's a pretty straightforward land division at this point. I guess that concludes my presentation unless there are any questions.
Thank you, Eric. Do any of the commissioners have any questions before I open it up for public comment?
No questions.
No, Madam Chair.
Okay, I will go ahead and open this item up for public comment. Jake?
All right, I have sent an unmute request out to the Zoom room floor. If you'd like to make a comment, please unmute and state your first and last name.
My name's...
Oh, we're getting some feedback there.
Can you hear me?
Turn your speakers down there and that should help.
Okay. Okay, how's that?
That's better. Please state your first and last name.
One of the... Doggone it. No. One of the items that Scott was talking about is making the changes to item number 2 there.
I don't want to cut you off, but can you please state your first and last name one more time?
Steve Bella. I represent Will Clark, which is the client. I work for Concert Land Surveying.
Thank you, Steve. Go ahead.
And I Scott was referring to a new condition for item number 2. And we could put that in a note on the final map. Is that right, Scott?
Yes, that's what we were proposing, that the note on the final map, yes. And elimination of the condition F, condition F2.
Okay, that would be good for, as far as I'm concerned, yes. We do have the client, if he would like to make any more comments on it. I think he's on Zoom too. Will Clark. Will, are you there?
Jake, do you see anybody?
Yes, I'm here, and I have no comments. I'm trying to click the same buttons to get everything on, but seems to be a bit of a problem.
I can't hear you. Can you just state your first and last name for the record, please?
William Clark.
Thank you.
Here we go. All right. And no, I do not have any comments. Everything seems to be pretty straightforward. So I think we're ready to move forward.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other public comment before we close this item?
I followed up with an additional unmute request. So if you'd like to make a comment, please unmute and state your first and last name.
So there appears to be no public comment. I'll bring this back to the commissioners. Is there anything you guys would like to note, or are you guys ready to make a motion?
Ready to make a motion.
Thank you, Eduardo.
Do we have a second?
Wait, yes. Are we gonna read the motion?
We have to.
Do you have that in front of you?
Yes. The negative declaration motion, or the so the negative declaration, I move that the Planning Commission find, on the basis of the initial study number 19-45 prepared by the Planning Division and no mitigation measures were added to the project, that parcel map PM 19-03 as applied for William Clark on property located on 28845 Red Hill Road, Kelseyville, California, 95451, APN 011-015-16 will not have a significant effect on the environment, and thereof recommend that the Planning Commission approve the proposed negative declaration with the findings listed in the staff report dated January 14th, 2021.
Second.
Okay, motion's been moved and seconded.
Okay, Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown is absent, Commissioner Price,
Yes.
Commissioner Williams.
Yes.
Motion so carries.
Thank you. And thank you, Eduardo. Okay. We are going to move on to our untimed staff update.
Madam Chair?
Go ahead.
I believe there's another motion.
Thank you.
I'll make the motion. For parcel map PM 19-03, I move that the Planning Commission find that the tentative parcel map PM 19-03 applied by William Clark on property located at 28845 Red Hill Road, Kelseyville, California, 95451, APN 011-015-16 is in conformity with the provisions of the Subdivision Map Act and Chapter 17 of the Lake County Code and the Lake County Zoning Ordinance, and upon that basis approved said map subject to the conditions and with the findings listed in the staff report dated January 14, 2021.
Commissioners, do we need to indicate for the record that that includes the changes that were discussed during the hearing?
Yeah, it could simply, Everardo, you could simply say, and as amended today.
And as amended today on January 14th, 2021.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Can we get a roll call?
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown is absent, Commissioner Price,
Yes.
and Commissioner Williams.
Yes.
Motion so carries.
Thank you. Moving on to untimed staff update with office news. Takara, are you handling that or is Scott?
Yes. Hello, Commission again. I have a few items that I would like to share. Number one, we've recently launched a new cannabis website as a subpage of the Lake County Community Development Department subpage, and I'm trying to navigate to it really quickly to share my screen. So if y'all can bear with me, I can do that really quickly. All right, so if you navigate to the Lake County Community Development Department webpage, there is a drop down that says cannabis, and this has essentially a one-stop shop for all things cannabis permitting related. It is a living document, so it will be updated pretty regularly. It's been vetted by staff and by some members of the community. We did like a soft review of the webpage before it went live. And some of the methodology into going through with making this website, we basically thought about what were our frequently asked questions. What do things need people who are trying to create a cannabis permit or obtain a cannabis permit? What do they need to know? So we compiled all that information and put it on this website. So you can either access it by clicking the drop down and then going to any of these sub pages. We have the Cultivation Article 27, the FAQ, frequently asked questions, a little handout about what are the different license types, primer on when can I plant, and then another primer on what happens if you did not cultivate this year, but you do have a permit. And then you can click on that drop down, have some nice pretty pictures. Again, the same things, just organized in a different manner. And then this will be updated as well with different news bits about cannabis permitting. Again, just another location where you can find everything that you need to know about cannabis permitting in Lake County, all put into one location. So that's one piece of news. Another piece of news that I kind of want to just kind of do, I want to publicly highlight Trish Turner for helping us with stepping in as Office Assistant 3. She has done an admirable job. It was pretty much, she was just thrown into it. She's learned things on the fly. She's taken an initiative to help us get organized. So I just wanted to say thank you, Trish, and I wanted to highlight her in the Planning Commission and for the public. And that is all the news that I think I have for right now. Again, Happy New Year. It's nice to see you all here together, even though we're virtual. And I look forward to seeing what we all accomplish over the year.
Thank you, Takara. The website looks really nice.
Yeah, that's very spiffy and it's very user-friendly, it appears, too.
Thank you. It was a very much a team effort. I want to highlight Catherine Schaefer. She helped me with doing a lot of heavy lifting. But again, it was all of the planning team and all the CDD and all of the people who gave comment and feedback when we did our soft opening. So I can't take the credit for it. I'm just telling you about it. It was very much a team effort.
Excellent. Commissioner Williams, did you want to say something?
Yes, I wanted to say thank you for the website. I was able to preview it, and I think there's a lot of questions that are always coming up. And so I think this will be very helpful. I also would like to thank you, Trish, because again, you have helped me get into this place and been very informative. So again, thank you for the whole CDD and thanks for all the hard work. And I think I'm very happy this is a nice, good day.
Thank you. Scott, it looks like you want to say something.
I do, doggone it. Takara stole a little bit of my thunder, but I'm so happy that she did. I also just wanted to say thanks to Trish and commend her on outstanding work. And I guess the only other news that I would have is on the CDD front is we promoted Ray Kehoe to our chief building official. Ray joined us several months ago as kind of our grading inspector slash building inspector, and has been promoted to chief building official, and he's doing an excellent job. He's just fit right in with the staff, and the building division is really kind of hitting their stride, and we're struggling. I will admit that. We've got a lot of work to do. We have some openings in some key positions, but we're really working hard on getting recruitments done and getting the interviews completed, and trying to find those right fit people, for those positions. But we're gaining some momentum, I feel like, and really looking forward to the new year, and just not only building our team, but just improve our service to the citizens of the county, and it's as Takara mentioned, we're looking forward to working with all of you this year to make that happen. And you folks play a tremendous role in that, and really appreciate your dedication to the county, and we're looking forward to working with you. And Lance, welcome aboard.
Yes, welcome.
I think a great addition to the overall team. You bring such a unique perspective and experiences, and I'm glad you're here. So thank you. That's all I got.
Lance, I noticed on your application to be a commissioner that you said you've probably attended more public meetings in the spaces than anyone else, and I think you probably are right about that. So welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Yes, welcome aboard. You're all around a class act, Lance. We're really lucky to have you. So thank you for that. Thank you for your contribution. Okay, if that concludes all of the office news and staff updates, we can adjourn the meeting.
Madam Chair, I move that the January 14, 2021 Planning Commission meeting adjourn.
Thank you, John, and thank you, everybody. Thanks for being patient with me. I appreciate it.
Congratulations, Christina.
Thank you.
You did great, Commissioner Price. Outstanding work.
Thanks for throwing me in. I appreciate you guys.
I get to a gavel.
I know.
A virtual gavel.
But yeah, you guys are great. Let me know if you need anything.
Thanks, Commissioner Price.
Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Take care. Stay safe.